Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
You've probably seen the videos, the top 5 distros, the best window manager that promise to turn you into a 10x programmer. Yeah, that's not what we're doing today. Instead, we're jumping into our Seagate app to dive into deepest, darkest corners of Mariana Trench to discover the good, the bad, and the ugly of desktop customization. Welcome to the Ricing Iceberg. If you make it to the end, you won't just have a good-looking setup, you'll have a roadmap on how to transition from a casual user to a Linux system administrator. Or you'll break your system, question your life choices, and seek a different kind of ricing. Now look, there are quite a few Linux icebergs, but this one ranks desktop customization based on the experience gap. Let's dive in. We start at the surface with options designed to make customization as easy as possible. Change the wallpaper, toggle dark mode, maybe adjust the font if you are feeling spicy. This is where most people stop, and honestly, that's fine. As we sink past the surface, the light starts to fade. We're entering the mesopelagic zone, where popular distros stop hiding the plumbing. We start with the known, primarily because it's most popular. It's built on a promise of stability and convenience. Most people started here, whether you liked it or not. It was probably pre-installed on your first Ubuntu. Next up, KDE Plasma. Thanks to the massive success of the Steam Deck, this veteran recently was taken off the shelf and became the choice of gamers. Why? Due to the promise of no-limit customization without sacrificing stability. Next, we hit the reliable old guard of the shallow end. First, XFCE, the dinosaur that claims it was designed for world domination. Today, the monster is just pure efficiency. It's the go-to for low-resource machines that need to work forever. Floating right next to it is Cinnamon. Started as a protest against GNOME's improvements, it became the ultimate migraine cure for Windows refugees. They're just rock-solid landing pads before things get weird. For many people, this is the sweet spot. Enough control to feel personal without needing to understand how the system actually works. But our Seagate sub control panel is bugged, so we're entering an uncontrollable descent. At this level, we've reached the depth of the Titanic. Waters most people will never experience, and it's about to get creepy. This is where meme, i.e. Search Linux by the way, was born. Tiling window managers, dot files, anime wallpapers. Everything has to be configured manually. Now you no longer need the mouse to navigate your windows, and the pressure starts to crack the glass. Meet i3. It stands for Improved, the gateway drug to tiling managers. Released by German dev Michael Stapelberg, it was built on a simple, brutal philosophy of sucking less. And of course, it's responsible for the legendary window gaps, the aesthetic drug that has taken over the Unix community. If i3 is the classic, then Sway is the future. Drew DeWalt got tired of buggy X11, so he built a drop-in i3 replacement using Wayland. It's your i3 config, but smoother, faster, and tear-free. A developer named Vaxray tried i3WM and hated it. His solution tried his own, named Hyperland. Result? It exploded the community by baking animations and rounded corners directly into the source code. It gave risers exactly what they wanted, a dynamic engine that actually felt alive. The hook? It treats your GPU like the $1,000 beast it is, with a native explicit tiering and variable refresh rate. For the aesthetic gamer, this is the peak, and for some, this is where the iceberg ends. As we keep sinking deeper, edit and Spolten here. In case you're enjoying the video, please do consider recommending it to a friend, because it just might make a difference to make my channel grow. We find a specimen that exists between two worlds. Awesome WM. It bridges the gap between minimalism and absolute power by embedding the Lua programming language. Here, your desktop isn't a static config, it's a dynamic script. That means custom widgets, complex automation, and a UI that responds to your every move. It's not just a window manager, it's a code base for your digital life. Did you hear that? I think our Seagate sub just hit the floor. Oh well, must have been the wind. Welcome to the Dead Zone, the realm of suckless software. At this depth, you'll sacrifice your entire weekend to save 10 megabytes of RAM. Window managers are no longer applications, they're C programs that you personally maintain. You don't install software here, you patch it. It's the ultimate expression of minimalism. If you don't compile it from source, you don't deserve to run it. Our first encounter is the benchmark of the Suckless cult. It's an ultimate, like I said, with hundreds of community-maintained patches. Cult was started by Ansel Garbe as a protest against bloated software, with a single goal in mind: keep the codebase below 2K lines. While the rest of the world moved towards user-friendly menus, DWM stayed frozen in time, curbing your enthusiasm with a Fort Knox C codebase. But it paved the way for nearly every other manager in the deep. Next subject, Xmonad. A group of devs built Xmonad with a single goal. We need a manager that is mathematically impossible to crash. Written and configured in Haskell,
This is a real-world Haskell.
it trades the dirty manual patching of C for a rigorous type system. If your code compiles, it works. Then there is a SexWM, the sexy window manager, that proves you don't need a CS degree to make it work. Written by a 16-year-old Saku. It has exploded recently, fueled by a young growing community, proving that even old-school window managers are starting to look bloated. Then we find FrankenWM, a 700-line beast stitched together from the corpses of other window managers. At this depth, you aren't just a user, you are the creator. You're expected to port and maintain the C code yourself, until your creation inevitably finds and kills you in the frozen wastes. We've reached the bottom of the trench. The system boots to a single blinking cursor, no display manager, no safety net. At this depth, the setup isn't about efficiency, and it's certainly not about aesthetics. At the very bottom, you don't even start the graphical server. You live in the TTY. But living in the void requires a backbone. I present to you a terminal multiplexer. It splits your terminal into how many windows you need. It's the only way to stay organized in the deep. Technically, there is one more layer below the void. At this point, you're not configuring a system anymore. You're writing a universe. This is where TempleOS and Holy See live. It's not practical, it's not efficient, and it's a one-way trip into a 640 to 480 resolution of pure digital mania. It represents the logical extreme of customization, where the operating system stops being a tool and it becomes a personal, divine expression. We aren't going any further than that. God's lucky numbers are 1, 2, and 4. 16 colors, no networking, just you and the creator.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.